brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. Wheeler and Lecter with you on your
Wednesday.
Every damn time. It's Wednesday morning. It's a little dark outside. It's minus 16. A little nippy.
A little dark outside.
A little dark.
Can it get darker?
I think so.
Oh.
We could shut off all the lights in the city. Absolutely. You know what's great about... so you go around Tin Can Hill when you're walking the dog, right? Do you ever go all the way down to the water treatment plant?
Yes.
Yes. And you walk around the building and stuff like that sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
So, I've been doing that a lot more lately because, like, we take Betty on a few walks.
Right.
Nothing super, super long just yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we're increasing it, but, like...
The road to recovery continues.
The road to recovery continues. But we take her around that building, and it blocks up almost enough light from the city that you can see more stars.
Oh, hey.
Super nice.
That's all right.
Yeah. And I've got my little star tracker on the phone there right now. Around, 6:30? Mars and Neptune are both in the eastern sky.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, shut up.
Party in the eastern sky.
That's right. Neptune and Mars. God of War and Neptune. I don't know what Neptune is.
The sea?
God of the Sea? Lord of
right.
the Sea.
Yeah.
Duke of the Sea.
Yeah. That's right.
Just slowly going down.
High priest of the
That's
sea.
right. Yeah. Lead butler of the sea.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler lecture with you on your Wednesday morning. Yesterday, I part of my self-care initiative, which includes me not doing much of anything, went to Etandah Day Spa to get a little facial. Never had one before, so like I said yesterday, we were hanging out, Phoenix and I were hanging out with the Etandah crew at the Chamber of Commerce Awards. Had a great night. Great bunch of people.
We won 3 awards.
We won the award.
In case you didn't hear.
Yeah. We beat them on the customer service award by 1 vote.
Small business of the year.
Small business. Was that the one?
Deal.
I thought it was customer service.
No, we beat them out of customer service, yeah.
By 1 vote.
I was just throwing out that we won.
All right. Easy.
Just in case anyone forgot.
That is enough.
Yeah, okay.
So we beat them up by 1 vote on the customer service award. And like we fully admit that we should, I don't know.
We rigged it.
I don't want to give it to them because it has our name on it.
Right.
But
yeah,
they definitely deserve it. Yeah. Their customer service is amazing. And not to give too many free mentions to Etandah Day Spa, Organic Day Spa. But I was invited by owner-operator Megan Peters to come down and have a facial. Their most popular, requested facial treatment. And he's like, I've never had one before. Yeah, I'll do it up. So I made the appointment that night at the table, and it came to pass yesterday.
It came to pass
that I was due for a facial, and it's a 90-minute facial treatment, right?
Yes.
So pampered and plucked.
Yeah,
no plucking.
Plucked?
No, I wasn't plucked,
okay.
But I was pampered. So I wanted her. She was going through everything, telling me exactly what she was doing, all the things that were in this stuff, about her treatments, about her line, all this stuff. It was really, really, really nice. It was like
got into a relationship with her sister and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got we dove deep.
Yeah.
And anyway, she's would massage my face with all these oils and cream and all these things. It was really, really relaxing, really beautiful stuff. Top-notch facilities, great stuff. But I asked her, I'd like to mention this tomorrow. We've been talking about it. Can you give me a rundown of everything you did to me?
Yeah.
And she said, yeah. I'll send you an email tonight. And she did.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to go through everything. Because it is, I know you would. Because it is a lot. A lot was done to my face yesterday, and I feel like my face feels great today. I got some testers that she gave me to kind of do some upkeep, but I feel like I'm a little glowy today, which is nice.
A little glowy.
But when you peel that face off,
it's definitely a bit pinker.
It
was yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think that's the healthy.
That's a layer gone.
That's right.
The underlayer.
Yeah, I've got that pinkish hue back that I used to have when I was 36.
You look like a boy.
You look like a boy. So here it is. So this is so she wrote me this email. I'll just read it all out. So today we did the 90-minute AHA peeling treatment facial. All right,
the Take On Me treatment.
That's right. I was going to say alpha hydroxy acid is a fruit acid that exfoliates the dead skin cells from the surface of the face. We then layer a paprika treatment over the peel to enhance circulation. This is the part. It left it on for 20 minutes. This gets hot and feels like burning, but it's in a nice way. It did feel like burning.
Yeah.
So she put a fan on me, and that really helped. I used gauze to mummify your face. So she layered gauze on my face.
Scary.
And 20 minutes later, we peel it off for a glowing, fresh, and slightly flushed face. More than slightly. Followed with a massage and a cool down mask and a hand massage.
Oh, man. I could go for a hand massage.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Finished with serums and moisturizer. Skin glows for weeks and feels refreshed. We send you home with a customized product pack of samples. Keep your results going at home. Some of the products used in the facial are a lemon cleansing milk, mineral exfoliating wash, rose hip toner, AHA fruit pulp peel with paprika treatment, stone crop and hyaluronic acid mask, rose hip and peppermint serum, hyaluronic eye cream, stone crop whip moisturizer.
I really should have asked her how to pronounce that.
I really should have. I think that's right. Hyaluronic. And they used organic skincare, certified BDIH, organic skin consults with Megan.
We need pronouncers, Megan.
We
pronouncers.
Do. I think it's hyaluronic. Pretty sure. So that's all the stuff that was on my face. The paprika treatment was pretty incredible. Layered it all on. And she's like, this is going to feel like burning, but in a nice way. And it definitely felt like burning. In a nice way.
Oh,
yeah, it did.
Nice.
It felt really good. And then, it just all gets, she layers it all on with the gauze there. It dries up. It gets there, and then she takes it all off. And then adds this nice cooling mask to cool you down.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Did you just picture, like, the mummifying? Just the word.
I did. I was
mummifying.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was going to, like, tear your skin right off?
When she started to peel it off, I was like, are you going to rip this off like a Biore clean strip? Or are you going to slowly take it off? And she just kind of slowly took it off. Because I was fully waiting for her to just grab it by two hands. And I'd just be sitting there like, is
my face still there?
My face. I felt like Nick Cage in Face Off.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Go to Etandah Day
Not
Spa
about hockey.
and have your face peeled off.
Yeah.
Face off.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was great. And so I highly recommend it. They are great. Their service is great. And Megan is awesome. The whole crew there is just wonderful. And they've got some great products there, too. There it is.
And, like, pretty good customer service.
Pretty good.
Not the best. Not award-winning customer service.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? No, she mentioned it. I think so. Yeah, it was a wonderful thing, and a great gift for Christmas. And there's it. That's it. That's the free mention done. But okay. I wanted to mention it because, it's hard to mention it obviously without mentioning them and what they did.
Yeah.
But it's one of them personal stories. I was like, this is what they did to my face. I'd never done this before, and she was very surprised. She's like, you did TV and film for like 8 years, and you never did one of these. I was like, no.
Gotta love makeup.
But this makes putting on makeup better because you're taking off some of the impurities, you're taking off some of the thing. She got into my black. Like she did some extraction on some blackheads on my face.
Yeah. Did she show you it?
No, she didn't.
I wouldn't want to see that.
I would. I was like, can you film this so I can see what's popping out of my face? Oh, I love it. It. You don't like that?
I'd be so disgusted with myself.
Oh, come on. There's a lot of crap on your face.
I know.
So anyway, I think I'll probably get that for Phoenix for Christmas. Get one of those. I already told her.
Good thing she's not listening.
Surprise ruined. I think we pretty much already know what we're getting each other for Christmas. So go check it out if you get the chance. Wonderful stuff. Thank you to Megan and the whole team at Etandah Day Spa.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Talking a little, it's a segment we like to call the Spam Box.
We haven't done it in a while.
No, we haven't. And we haven't really given it a segment title. Or a theme song.
The Spam Box.
Here we go.
Spam Can.
Spam Can. I like the Spam Can.
That's all right.
Yeah. You know what? Let's grab some audio from that Monty Python sketch. Spam, spam, spam. All the sausages and spam.
Why didn't I do that already?
Because I just told you.
That is smart.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Next time.
So if you don't know, we get a lot of spam emails because we are a media conglomerate owned by the Chinese. And as is the case, we get a ton of spam email from all over the world. And we got an email last month from a man in Turkey looking to vacuum up a bunch of independent radio stations.
I think he was trying to sell us basketballs, too.
And sell us basketballs. Listen, I'll give you the basketballs. You give me the radio station. And you know what? We considered it for a second because, I could eat some basketballs.
You know what? Deal.
Are
these quality basketballs we're talking?
No, they're not. They're Turkish basketballs. Well, actually, basketball's huge in Turkey, so I would imagine they make a good.
They might be good basketball.
They make a good basketball.
Yeah.
And AJ's got that hoop set up in his backyard.
He does
on the grass.
We don't
Pretty
have
awesome.
to use a volleyball anymore.
That's right. Well, we had a.
No,
basketball.
he's got a basketball.
I mean, it makes a softer
Not a
landing.
Turkish basketball.
That's right. It makes a softer landing when you're trying to dunk, which I can do. Won't show you though.
Ever?
Nope.
Okay.
Just believe me. All right, getting into the spam box. Lecter, what do you got?
So you just mentioned how we get spam emails from all over the world.
Spam can.
The spam can, yes. Today's coming from Ireland.
Yes.
Janet, Ireland, to be
right.
exact. It was titled "Question on Multiple Contributions to CabinRadio.ca," and this is usually the kind of spam email we get, where people are looking to send us sponsored content, articles about gadgets and such, and reviews.
That's right.
On such gadgets.
Why would you need an article? You're the one who invented the product in question.
Probably things that we, can't even get here in Yellowknife, and have no relevance whatsoever.
You mean like cashmere-lined leggings?
Like cashmere-lined leggings.
And small rubber pucks that fly like Frisbees?
Well, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
I'll take a look at that.
I'll probably buy 10
I'd like to see a few reviews on those.
I actually might buy those this Christmas and just find out.
So Janet Ireland writes, "Hi, I hope you are safe and well."
Janet, thank you.
I'm Janet from the Cool List.
Oh, the Cool List. Not the Coolest.
List.
Cool List.
Yeah, that's a pretty good name.
That's pretty good.
I got to say, Janet had me hooked at this point.
Yeah.
I saw your site, cabinradio.ca.
I saw your site. Insert site here.
Where I read your article, quote, "Watch YK Remembrance Day Ceremony live with Cabin Radio."
A well-written article, if there ever was one.
And I thought,
it's a good read.
You highlighted interesting points and wrote about the topic really well.
Janet, thank you.
I don't know that we need to read the rest of the email.
I think we should.
Yeah? Okay. I'm reaching out to you because my passion is about writing and content creation, blah, blah. And I mean, you know where it goes from there.
Yeah, would you be interested in forming a partnership about writing articles?
Adding relevant resource links to your existing write-ups.
Forming a partnership about writing articles? So we get together and we talk about writing articles. We don't actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually they offer money.
Sometimes the language in these bot emails is really bad.
I believe that my extensive writing experience and knowledge about various subjects will greatly benefit not just both of us, but more importantly, your audience.
It's probably the best written spam email I've seen.
Really?
Well, I mean, it doesn't feel like a bot so much. Like, there's a couple things where you're like, well, you're a bot. And she says, I hope to hear from you soon. Best regards, Janet. Now, if this isn't a bot.
I mean, it's definitely a bot.
And Janet's listening, a single tear just dropped from her eye.
Well, okay. Constructive criticism time.
No!
Janet, assuming you're not a bot, and you are definitely a real person who is looking to make content contributions to Cabin Radio, our site, cabinradio.ca.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps copy and paste a different example of our writing, our high-quality writing, then watch YK Remembrance Day Ceremony live with Cabin Radio.
There's a little write-up in there. Doesn't it say when it is?
It might.
It's clear. It's concise. It's Cabin Radio.
I don't think we highlighted any interesting points other than the where and when. And I also don't think we wrote about the topic particularly well.
November 11th? Interesting.
So, Janet,
10:45, provocative.
I guess all we could say is not this time.
Yeah. We don't do
luck
business with Ireland.
Those Turkish basketball emails, those were legit.
Those were bad.
I don't think those were bots. That was
awesome.
real.
I picture a sea can full of basketballs. They open the door and they all fall out. I'm like, ah! We all get crushed by Turkish basketball.
See, those don't belong in the spam can anyway. They can't even fit.
And that's another edition of the Spam Cam. Spam, spam, spam. Oh, y'all eat eggs, sausage, and spam.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Joined by Ollie Williams for a segment we like to call Without Knowing Precisely What's Going On with Ollie Williams. Ollie, none of it has seen a slight uptick in cases of COVID-19, up to 60 in the past, day or so.
Is that what we're calling slight now?
Yeah, I think so. A slight uptick. I mean, compared to Alberta or places with more than 1 million people, I mean, it is a slight uptick. Ollie, without knowing precisely what's going on, obviously this is a very serious thing. Without knowing precisely what's going on in Nunavut?
Yeah, they've got 34 cases in the last day, or confirmed yesterday, I should say. Overall, like you say, 60 cases. 46 of those are in Aviat, 8 are in Whale Cove, 4 in Rankin Inlet, and 2 in Sanikiluaq. The ones that matter the most to the NWT are the ones in Aviat, Whale Cove, and Rankin, because those are sort of nearer to the through routes, if you like, through from Nunavut to the NWT. You know, often people will fly through Rankin to come back to Yellowknife. So we know that the travel bubble has closed. It closed as of 12 noon yesterday, which means you can no longer come in from Nunavut to the NWT without self-isolating. You now must isolate as though you were coming in from Alberta, BC, anywhere else. The rules are now exactly the same. You can still go in the other direction. So you can travel into Nunavut and not self-isolate right now, because obviously it's not like the issue here is still the same as it was a week ago.
Yeah.
We've still got 15 cases. So the NWT is not currently in a worse situation than it was.
Yeah.
So you still travel from the NWT into Nunavut, and as long as you meet all the criteria and file the paperwork, which is something you always had to do anyway, then you don't necessarily have to self-isolate. But when you came back, you would do. Jesse, you're pulling a face.
I mean, the massive uptake in RV at 34K, is this not community spread? Like, should you?
Yeah,
not
it is.
Yeah, of course it is. So why would you, if you're flying into RV, why would you be allowed to fly to RV without?
Well, because you're not going to bring the virus in. You just might get it when you're there.
I mean, yeah, I guess. And I guess all
usually
cases are isolated at this point.
Usually self-isolation is designed to stop you from spreading it if you've got it, rather than to stop you from sending yourself into an environment where you might get it.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's not recommended that you fly to RVN.
No, it is not recommended that
right
you fly to RVN, but the current rules are, and you may well be denied permission by
That's
Nunavut's
right.
Chief Public Health Officer.
Yeah, very good.
But in general, at the moment, Nunavut has not closed off that option to NWT travelers the same way the NWT has to Nunavut.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Absolutely, the government of Nunavut does not encourage any travel into Nunavut right now, and there is a lockdown beginning today and lasting for 2 weeks in Nunavut, where schools are closed, a lot of non-essential businesses will shut down, and people are being asked to avoid all non-essential travel.
So basically back to where we were in April or March.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much a lockdown. I mean, we kind of discussed this via text and things like that. I've been discussing it with other people at work, and just saying that if we see an uptick in cases here, which seems inevitable at this point, we might see the same thing going back to where we were in March, where everything's just kind of shut down. I mean, we should, if we do see an uptick in cases, shut everything down, especially if there's a case of community spread in Yellowknife or in the NWT. Shut everything down for 2 weeks and try to contain it that way.
Yeah, the scenario that's playing out in Aviat is essentially what the NWT has been trying to avoid here.
Of course.
Because it is a smaller community. Although it's still relatively, it's more than 2,000 people in Aviat.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing where, you in Yellowknife, it might be a little less likely to play out like that, but if it played out like that in Fort Providence or somewhere, that's what the NWT has been trying to avoid with the system of isolation and travel restrictions, because it then makes it much harder to bring under control.
Of course.
Once it is out like that. Now, the problem for the NWT is less what happens now and more who may have come in the past couple of weeks.
Right.
Yes.
Before the travel bubble was closed down, but after the disease started spreading. So yesterday evening, the NWT government issued a further advisory ordering that anyone who came in from a Kivalliq community in the last 2 weeks self-isolate immediately and carry on doing so until they've spent 14 days in the NWT. So if you flew in from, say, Aviat last week, then you need to be self-isolating now and stay there until you've completed 14 days in the NWT since you got here.
Yes.
That becomes confusing because a lot of people spend a matter of minutes in the Kivalliq traveling back from Nunavut. So if you fly back from somewhere else in Nunavut, you might fly through Rankin, which is in the Kivalliq. You might be on the ground for 15 minutes. And then you may not even get out of the plane.
Right.
And then you fly back into Yellowknife. Now, as I understand it, looking through that advisory, you're still isolating at that
even
point.
if you don't get off the plane.
Right.
Didn't get off the plane, but you flew through Rankin, and who got on that plane?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we might as well.
And I I'm going to seek a little clarity on this morning. The way I read the advisory is you should still be isolating even in that circumstance.
Yeah.
As annoying as that may sound, now is probably not the time to be rolling any dice.
No. And frankly, it's probably just easier to approach it that way anyway, rather than, picking and choosing on a case-by-case basis, which, I mean, we already have to do in some cases anyway, but this one is so fresh and so brand new that, just lock it down.
Like, err on the side of caution. It is obviously by Nunavut standards a very large increase.
Yeah.
And definitely not one that the NWT wants to see replicated here, but we will kind of have to see. I think let's give it a week and see what happens here. It's not necessarily that there is that much travel right now. I don't know how many people have even come through Rankin or Aviat in the last couple of weeks. You look at the travel numbers, they're decreasing every week. So we had something like the last numbers we have are from November the 1st to November the 7th, that first week in November. Something like 300 and odd people by vehicle and 500 and odd people by plane came in that week. The vast majority of which would then have self-isolated.
Yeah. Right.
So it's actually not a vast number of people. Of the 300 and so many that came in by car, at least 2/3 of those were truckers.
Yeah.
And so you're talking like 90 to 100 or so people who are just in private cars coming back from places.
Yeah.
They are low numbers.
Yeah.
So it is still a manageable situation, assuming people self-isolate appropriately. We'll just have to see how things develop in the next week.
Fair enough.
I saw a CBC story today that was talking about, the headline was basically like the vast majority of people crossing the U.S.-Canada border have not been forced to self-isolate for 14 days.
Yeah.
Then you read into the article, and it's like, 3/4 of those have been truckers.
Yeah, exactly.
Who have like protocols, distancing, and of course wearing a mask, protocols in place to keep things as safe as possible.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
and then,
but now on the other hand, this becomes interesting for the NWT in the next few months when the ice road season opens.
Right.
Yes.
Because up till now, truckers have been operating under quite strict rules whereby, they don't have to self-isolate because you can't doing that job.
Yeah.
But you're on a 36-hour clock. Basically, you come in, you drop off the stuff, you turn around, you keep yourself isolated to the best possible degree, and then you leave again. It's not going to be possible in the ice road season because you're going to need longer periods of time in the NWT. You cannot get a truck to Ikati and back in 36 hours. So the rules are probably going to have to change to accommodate the ice road season, not just to the Diamond Mines, but up the Mackenzie Valley Winter Road and things like that as well. How those rules change, we did ask the Office of the Chief Public Health Officer a couple of weeks ago. They said they were working on it at the time. We haven't heard anything since. But the rules around truckers are going to have to change as well. The chances are, the more time more truckers spend in the Northwest Territories, especially during ice road season, we know there's something like 10,000 loads often going up. There's a lot of people that are going to need to bring a lot of stuff up in order to keep that economic engine of the territory going. So there is going to be a shift in the number of people coming in, and how that's managed in the dead of winter when there might still be quite a large number of cases in the south. That's going to be very tricky to manage, and it'll have to be very carefully managed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we knew. I mean, we knew that the second wave was coming at some points, and it's firmly in the north. We haven't seen a huge uptick in the NWT, which has been great.
I mean, it's technically first wave for Nunavut.
I mean, kind of. I mean, kind of. But I mean, like, obviously, the second wave is hitting a little harder. Not a little harder, a lot harder than the first, as predicted. So it is tricky, and it's a little terrifying.
I mean, look, let's end on a happy note.
Okay.
While this may change in the future, for the time being, the Northwest Territories is
the safest place on the planet?
Certainly in North or South America, probably yes.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Certainly the place with the lowest number of confirmed cases in North America.
And I guess like the last territory or province in Canada that hasn't had any community spread.
That's right.
Yeah. So while things obviously may change and develop in future, every passing day that the Northwest Territories gets through in the current shape that it's in is one day closer to a vaccine without having to deal with a lot of the problems that other places are seeing. So let's be grateful for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've been doing great work, and let's continue to do so. Wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your masks. It's super easy to do.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Finishing off MATC for another bright, sunny, another morning. A little gray out there, -16. Might want to wrap up a little bit warm. A little bit of wind out there as well. So just looking out for you. And if you don't want to get out of bed, then don't. Stay home and make up some excuse. No one's going to think less of you.
Yeah, now it's a little dark outside. Off the top of this morning, you're a little dark. Come on.
All right.
It was pitch black outside.
It was pitch black outside. That's true. But now the sun's slowly starting to come up. We only got to, just over a month left of losing light. And then we start gaining it right back. So things are starting to look up.
Things are looking up. I mean, not right now, but, after this month.
And I think it's the first anniversary of COVID-19 being discovered in China. So, hey, that's something.
All right.
Hey, all right.
Yeah. It just kind of snuck in there right at the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it is. I haven't looked it up. I saw someone post something about it, so I'll just say that it is.
I mean, you're probably right.
Probably
that's where
right.
the 19, of course, came from.
In case you haven't noticed, we are not doing an episode of D-Lo or No D-Lo this week. We're taking a week off, but we'll be back next week. And you know how this works. Or how it does work when we do post it.
How it would normally work.
How it would normally work if we were here.
If we were doing it.
I suppose if the picture was up, we'd say, tell us if it's D-Lo or no D-Lo. And then win a prize that was selected by Sarah Rasmus as Rasmus Apparel.
As, of course, is tradition.
But it's not up there today, so we won't be saying that. Of that.
This is not tradition.
This is untraditional. But I will tell you that new week of flu shot clinics has been added for Yellowknife between the 23rd and the 29th. I still got to get mine.
And then just to reiterate, this is not D-Lo or no D-Lo.
No, this is not.
They are.
We're not doing it this week. We'll be back next week with a segment called D-Lo or no D-Lo. Now, in D-Lo or no D-Lo, what we do is we post a picture of Ollie and I somewhere in the city. It could be D-Lo, could be no D-Lo, and you have to decide which. We're not doing that this week, but if we were, that's how we would do it.
Yes.
How would we do it, you ask? Well, simply. Put the picture up on Mornings at the Cabin and Cabin Radio NWT. You figure out what we wish. You comment, and then we drop them a hat, basically, and pick the prize.
So
however,
look forward to that next week.
Big old tease for next week. Because this week, as I said, just before this, we're not doing it. This week. We're taking a week off.
That's right.
However, if we were doing it. Anyway, new week of flu shot clinics added for Yellowknife November 23rd through 29th. Online booking program. You can find that at cabinradio.ca. Sarah Price has that for you. I have not gotten my flu shot yet. You got yours?
I did, yeah.
Ollie got his and famously died for 2 minutes.
That's right.
Again, I know he's been telling people that he fainted. He died for 2 minutes.
Yeah, his heart stopped.
I'm not trying to do this to scare anybody.
No.
Flu shots are remarkably safe.
For everyone not named Ollie.
For everyone not named Ollie from the Isle of Uke.
Although there is that Ollie Williams that works for Northwest Health, so we shouldn't encourage him to not get a flu shot for fear of dying for 2 minutes.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So get your flu shot if you can. Obviously, it's about most importance. We don't want to see the flu competing with COVID-19. Again, they're not the same thing, but we don't want to see flu competing for COVID-19 for bed space or care.
I hate making our viruses compete against one another.
Me too.
You know?
Why can't all our viruses just operate separately and independently and be successful?
They don't need to be brought up in this combative atmosphere that we've created for them.
That's right. Listen, in the world of viruses, everyone's a winner. We want to give a ribbon to everybody. All right. So go to cabinradio.ca, click on the link, and you could book your appointment for a flu shot. Get it while they're hot.
Honestly, it was so quick, too.
Of course.
Yeah, it was
they just jab you with a needle and get the hell out.
Well, I kind of thought that, like, this year, because everything is taking longer and, you know, there's a bit more of a process for generally everything since the year 2020 started. I kind of expected to allot, another 20 minutes based on what you would have previously expected a flu shot to take. No, it was, if anything, I think it might have been faster.
Yeah, if anything, it's faster than it usually is.
It was great.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You don't get a cookie for this one. You don't get a cookie for giving blood.
We're out of juice boxes. Ollie took all of them.
That's right. Ollie needed 17 juice boxes just to walk out of here. Poor guy. It's such a great story, though. But, I mean, good Lord.
And now he's got diabetes.
All right. So now he has to jab himself with another needle. That is enough for a Wednesday mornings at the cabin. Get your flu shot, wear your masks, wash your hands, keep your distance if you can. Try not to have parties outside your bubble. I mean, we're just trying to not go into lockdown. So if we just take a little step back right now, then maybe we won't have to do that. All right? But don't take my advice. Actually listen to a doctor or scientist about it. That's going to do it for Mornings at the Cabin. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.